they need a lot. They need a lot of help as far as receiver, defensive line. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm doing all right. Another week in the books for work, so I'm excited about the weekend coming up. Senior Bowl practice was this week. Got the Royal Rumble tomorrow afternoon. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
See, it's a good sports week. I think it's a good sports week. You do. Obviously, next
It's
week.
an all right sport. There's been better.
But it depends on.
And it sucks that there's no Pro Bowl happening this weekend, which I like that they put it in the city for the Super Bowl. I hate the fact that now it's later because it's the week of the Super Bowl.
They're doing it Tuesday, the skills.
And then I think Thursday.
One night.
I think Thursday.
It's Tuesday.
Is it just all Tuesday? I thought it was Thursday.
They're doing everything at once. So you get your flag football and you get your skills contest in all this on Tuesday night. But this week you had the Shrine Bowl practices, or you had the Shrine Bowl game on Tuesday. You had the Senior Bowl practices. We'll have the Senior Bowl tomorrow. Why is this a big deal? You might think it's lame, which I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot to gain from these games like the Shrine Bowl and like the Senior Bowl tomorrow, but the practices are where it's all about. Matter of fact, a lot of these guys leave the area. They'll be leaving Mobile before the game even starts.
They're probably already going. A lot of them are already going.
So, yeah, it is cool that some of them chose to go. Some of them opted out, of course, of the Senior Bowl. The Shrine Bowl has gotten bigger and bigger, and it's getting some better talent. They have it down at Frisco. 51 players were drafted last year that attended the Shrine Bowl. 106 were drafted from the Senior Bowl. So about double, a little more than double, are drafted from the Senior Bowl to the Shrine Bowl. But they were showing the practices all week. NFL Network was showing them. You saw ESPN showing them stuff. But I think there's going to be some interest. Now, you're not going to see your Reuben Baines and your Carnell Tates and your guys that you want the Kansas City Chiefs to draft. But mid-rounds to late rounds, you can maybe get a favorite out of the Senior Bowl or Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think, probably day 2. Maybe even a lot of guys day 3 were at the Senior Bowl. But, yeah, no, I think there's definitely some guys that, could be playing in red and gold this fall that were there at the Senior Bowl this week.
And some of the Chiefs' assistants, of course, have been part of this. And they 2 years ago, they kind of broke away from having full coaching staffs. It'd be like the Bears versus the Chiefs in the Senior Bowl, right? You have basically the entire coaching staff. They broke away from that. And they've got a bunch of different assistants from different NFL teams, so guys can go down there, try to make that jump to another job. So they're doing things a little bit differently than they've done in the past. Of course, Jim Nagy, now gone. He's at Oklahoma. He was at Oklahoma this past year. He kind of put the Senior Bowl together for the talent they had. But we're here. We're this is the prelude to the draft. You get these out of the way, and we get the Senior Bowl out of the way tomorrow. Then all of a sudden you have the Combine coming up. We're going to hit NFL free agency in mid-March there. Then, boom, we have the NFL draft at the end of April, which, by the way, the Kansas City Royals do not play on the first night of the NFL draft, Chris.
Oh, good. Good. That's awesome. I hadn't checked the schedule yet.
Yeah, the Royals do not play the first night of the NFL draft, which is fine.
That's awesome.
So people can sit back and just enjoy the draft.
We have had some luck the last couple of years of not having too much of a conflict with the Royals. We did have one in 23, but we kind of did we put them on now 96.5 the fan, but at the time it was still the Buzz.
So the first night of the draft they're off. The second night that could be a problem. They play at 6:40. Yeah. But Saturday,
which should be the same as what it was last year.
But Saturday they play in the afternoon.
Okay.
It's weird. They actually play on the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday. So they're at 6:40 on Saturday night and Sunday night. You're not getting a little noon special.
Well, that's the evening.
Yeah, you're getting the evening.
You said the afternoon.
No, you're not getting the afternoon is what I said.
No, you said they play in the afternoon.
Whatever the hell I said. You know what I meant.
No, I didn't. That's why I'm clarifying.
They're playing at night.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good. That means that, Saturday we will not have very much. It'll probably be like last year, and we'll basically have, what did we get, like 6 hours of coverage on day 3 of the draft? And then as soon as we got off, the Chiefs traded up and drafted Brashard Smith.
No, for the 816, do you have to talk football?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do, and we are. Have you looked at the ratings lately? Have you looked at the ratings lately for the National Football League or what's entailed with the NFL? despite what sports you might like, it can kiss the NFL's butt because the NFL is in front of whatever sport you like. Guarantee it. So deal with it.
Yeah, somebody also brought up NASCAR. NASCAR returns Sunday. Is it?
They're doing it's not Daytona time yet.
Yes, I know it's not Daytona because that's the 15th, I think.
Golf's going. PGA Tour's going. The Farmers
don't.
Open's going. I'd watch it.
I don't watch golf.
I do. It's fun.
I'm not a golf person.
But anyway, you got this. And the next week's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Mike Tirico, stand up, my friend. He's got the Super Bowl on the 8th. You have the opening ceremonies for the Olympics on the 6th. NBC has the Olympics and the Super Bowl. So Tirico's going to do the Super Bowl, right? And then he's going to go down to the field and host primetime for the Olympics after the Super Bowl. So Tirico's double dipping, man. He's got the freaking Super Bowl and then the Olympics. Imagine this is kind of the ratings he's going to have at his disposal that night.
I mean, he's gonna be a real busy man there because the Olympics, that's a lot of work.
816 says they're out. I'm curious, 816, what's your sport? What's your sport?
It doesn't matter.
We're going to talk some baseball.
They're
next
out.
then.
They're out.
I'm going to talk some baseball at some point. But Dylan McCullough is the guy the Chiefs have requested, according to Adam Schefter, who was a running backs coach here in 2018 through 2020. He's currently the Raiders running backs coach at this time, and they're interested in bringing him back to the fold, at least according to Adam Schefter. They put a request in. Now, the Raiders have not approved it yet. Like, the Raiders have not approved that request, so it's not a done deal. The Raiders have to agree to this because what could happen is whoever the Raiders decide to hire, and they're probably just waiting it out here to get Kubiak.
They're really trying to get Kubiak.
Yeah. So whoever he wants to keep, maybe he wants to keep McCullough. Who knows? If he wants to keep him, he can't go anywhere because he's under contract. Now, if he doesn't, then they'll do the right thing and they'll let him go interview. But the Raiders aren't real kind when it comes to things like that. Now, the Chiefs could still hire him anyway, but they'd have to give him a promotion. It would have to be something like assistant head coach / running backs coach. So they can get him if they really wanted him.
Yeah,
but you got to promote him. You got to promote him.
We'll see. For all we know, I mean, usually what happens is, and we all know this, you get a new coach, they clean out the coaching staff from before, usually completely, but sometimes they do retain some staff. And so, I mean, for all we know, Kubiak will want his own people in, especially because it would be his first time as a head coach. And so in that case, McCullough would get fired, and then, at that point, the Chiefs wouldn't need the permission of the Raiders to interview McCullough for the job.
And that's probably the way it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I think. Here's the thing is, like, it might be a situation where if McCullough really wants to come back, which I don't think the Chiefs would request it if McCullough didn't want to come back, then at that point, him and Kubiak talk, and then he's like, hey, actually, I'd rather go to the Chiefs. And then Kubiak grants him that wish because, as Mike Tomlin says, you don't want hostages on your team. So
no, what goes around comes around. And if you don't agree to let somebody do something, Chiefs remember that, and other teams remember that.
Oh, yeah. And
it's not just Chiefs, but other teams will say, wait a minute,
yeah.
you guys weren't so cool about letting your assistant go to another place.
Right.
So there's a lot of wink, handshake agreements that go on.
You usually don't see teams say no.
But he was at Notre Dame, and he did help recruit Jeremiah Love. For all the Jeremiah Love conspiracy theorists out there, he did recruiting to Notre Dame.
Well, truthers.
The truthers.
We would call them the Jeremiah Love truthers, which I'm not one.
Me either.
Yeah,
and we'll get
I know.
that.
We've talked a lot about it. Yeah, we've talked a lot about running back at 9.
We'll get into that. By the way, your draft selections, keep sending them all night. We're curious because I love to do this each time we're on because it keeps changing every single day, every single time we're on. Who wants? And Chris and I, we did it for the character concerns this past week. We look at the top 25 mocks, and when I say top 25, just names you've kind of heard of. People out there. I mean, it doesn't mean they're right at all. I think there's a lot of copying that goes on.
There is a lot of copying, especially when like half the mocks we did on Monday were the same. With Jeremiah Love.
The same guy. And you know what? You might see a lot of the same this week too.
To be honest, it might be the same for a while.
Well, I
really think
so.
That's going to be one of the hot things because it's one of the easiest things to do is just mock a running back.
When did you put that together? Sunday?
I started putting it together on Saturday.
Okay, so Saturday,
and
Sunday, Monday.
I added throughout the next couple days before.
And we had Jeremiah, I think, come out Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is the freshest. This is Fridays. This is kind of after the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl practices where people are kind of slotted in for the Chiefs. We'll look at the top 25 break them down into what positions people are taking. And there's some people I put in there, like Matthew Friedman, who has been, they actually rate these things when you put out mocks, who's the most accurate. Because that does matter. Someone just throwing something to the wall and see if it sticks. Now, keep in mind.
I mean, everyone is throwing something to the wall and hope it sticks.
Well,
That's literally how you do it.
And the one thing, too, is you can say you're right, but you might have like 4 or 5 different people at slot number 9. You, like for the Chiefs, you might be doing mock drafts and have the Chiefs taking Love in one. You might have them taking Bain in another. You might have them taking Cardell Tate in another. Yeah. And you might have them taking Bailey in another. And you might have Peter Woods going in another. Yeah. So eventually you might be right and say, well, you know what? I did had so-and-so go.
Yeah, and that one mock I put out in March, yeah, I was right about that pick.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of did that because, remember, on our first mock we did in 2023, leading up to the 24 draft, we had Xavier Worthy going to the Chiefs in round 1. So, I mean, we kind of did that too, and we hit on it. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you do enough mocks.
But we backed off on it at the end.
We did. We actually were, I think our final was A.D. Mitchell.
Because the Hollywood Brown signing.
Yeah, the Hollywood Brown, and we liked A.D. Mitchell's size speed combo more than we liked Xavier Worthy. But we backed off on it. But that was initially like early because we did that in October, I think it was in 23. And so we made that pick and then we kind of backed off.
It's going to change because when we started doing the looking at what players are being mocked to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
early on. I mean, this goes back in October, November, and things like that. You start looking at these things. It was Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. That was probably the favorite. If we would have done top 25 mocks, which there really isn't that many, back in October or whatever, it would be Kenyon Sadiq. It would have been loaded with Kenyon.
Yeah, it would have been loaded with him, and then over time it was easy edge rusher, and then after that it started to become running back. Like that was the big thing we did our Monday. It was like 12 were Jeremiah Lowe.
Sure.
So it'll change a lot.
We'll get into a lot of that. Now, I still want to know from the 816, what's the sport you want us to cover? I am curious because I'm going to talk some baseball. The Daytona 500 isn't this weekend. The Olympics is next week. The Super Bowl's next week. But Super Bowl's in football. So I'm curious what that sport is that you want talked about on a show that's in a city that values football as the number one sport. I'm curious. 660 says, got to take Ruben Bain or Caleb Downs. We'll get into that, but that's kind of the theme of what we want you to do. 913-586-7965. Which direction are you going? Which direction should the Kansas City Chiefs go? But a little more homework, too. Why? Don't just put the player. Say why, and say which couple of games really stood out to you. Like if you're using Ruben Bain,
I'll tell you this right now.
Well, I'm going through 8 and I'm going national title.
I'll tell you this right now. 90% of the people that want Ruben Bain only want Ruben Bain because they watched him in the playoffs.
They're not watching that 8-game stretch where he had 1.5 sacks. They're not watching any of that.
Yeah. Somebody said, "What about the Royal Rumble?" I did say that. I did bring up the Royal Rumble.
You're all over that.
Royal Rumble tomorrow afternoon. I will be on it. Braun Breaker's winning. If you are betting on it, Braun Breaker.
Is that it's ESPN Plus?
It's on it's on ESPN Unlimited is what they call it now.
I thought Paramount Plus did a good job with the UFC.
Yeah, I don't have Paramount.
You don't have it?
I don't have Paramount. But I did.
You gotta get it, man. You get UFC and you get Landman.
I'm not paying for that. No. Like I don't watch I'm a big fight guy. Like I don't watch every UFC event.
Well,
I watch
boxing
the big
as well. On
Same
Paramount.
thing with boxing. Like I'm big fights. I'm not watching all the boxing. I'm watching I think Fury. He was going to come out of retirement. I'm probably going to watch his next fight. Like I watched Crawford's when he fought Canelo. I watched that. I'm big fights. Yeah. Like I don't have time to watch all these people. I'm going to watch the big ones.
Well, the 816 is going to watch the Busch Clash this weekend.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense.
We have good. Yeah. I mean, I had Kyle Larson on the show a couple months ago, and he was at Kansas Speedway. He brought Kyle Larson on. He ends up winning the whole thing. So I'll talk NASCAR as well. I don't mind doing that as well. But 913-586-7965 is the J Southland Tow Service text line. It's also our phone number as well. So talk about that, by the way. Vinny Pasquantino, the Royals got a deal done, so it's not going to arbitration. He wanted $4.5 million. Royals offered $4 million. And before you get to arbitration, when they tell you how much you suck, they were able to get the deal done. And he got $11 million, $16 million with incentives. So he actually got more than what he asked for. So, props to the Royals getting this done with
Yeah,
Chris Bubich is still out there.
You don't want, this is the thing about arbitration. Like, all these teams are going past, trying to work past arbitration and signing guys to deals because arbitration ruins relationships now. And so you don't want to be in a situation where you ruin your relationship with the player that you want to keep long term.
Yeah, you don't tell them how bad they are. By the way, 913 asked me, high school question. Bill Utz leaving Platte County after back-to-back undefeated state championship seasons to go to Lansing. I have one thing for that and one thing only, Chris. You and I used to do the high school football show together.
Yeah, that was a decade ago.
It is, well, yes, but there's
was a
something.
long time ago.
There's something that lingers out there. You can have all that success, but then what happens? Retirement in one state, and then you double dip in another. So it comes down to a lot of that. If you want to know why coaches leave, a lot of times they're not leaving to go to another job within the state. They're hopping the state lines. Whether you're in Kansas, you get that retirement, you double dip in Missouri, or Missouri to Kansas. That's what people often do. Coming up next, though, we'll look at what decision kind of looms large for the Kansas City Chiefs. Is actually a very, very important player once he makes up his mind which direction they go next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Don't let winter catch you off guard. Keep your family cozy with a $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. We have pros available 7 days a week to keep your system running at peak efficiency, helping prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and keep your home warm all winter long. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEBNOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Tonight, expect a low of 3 with partly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Staples. 2026 is here, and at Staples, deals mean business. Like up to $100 off custom print orders. Head into the new year looking good for less. Staples. That was easy. Ends 1/31.
Hey, it's Alex Gold, and coming up on Tuesday, February 10th, everyone from the station will be hosting the Chiefs Off-Season Show, starting at 9 a.m. Bob, Dusty, Cody, C-Dot, and myself will all be in studio and on camera for 2 hours talking about what went wrong in 2025, the Chiefs' biggest needs in free agency, and who should they be targeting in the upcoming NFL Draft. The Chiefs Off-Season Show, starting at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, February 10th, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back to After Hours. Friday night, Jay Binkley, Chris Unocero. Make sure you go download Character Concerns, the NFL Draft podcast for the Kansas City Chiefs that we do each and every week. And oftentimes, we have those great draft parties too. Done at the Liberty Landing the last 2 years. Chris and I had about, 17, 18 hours of live coverage of the NFL Draft last year. And that's when you're picking at the end of the first round. Much different when you're picking ninth. I think we'll have a little bit more fun this year.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be a lot more excitement earlier in the draft. Usually, it's a whole lot of waiting around for the 30s to get there, and there's gonna be a lot of excitement, and there's gonna be a lot more on the line because you got a top 10 pick now.
So you'll have 9. You can talk about the player they selected, and then you throw out the pipe dream. Can they trade back into the first round? Can they trade back at the very end?
I'll say this,
and then so it's still out there and it remains.
As long
as
they don't give up any picks. In 27, I'm cool with it.
Keep 27.
Keep 27. If you want, if you could go if you could move up and get one of the guys that I really, really like that could be there late first round, I'm all for it.
Yeah, the 2027 draft is absolutely loaded.
Right now, it looks like it could be like a one of the best classes we've seen in a long time at a lot of different position groups.
And it's not just you saying it or me saying it. I mean, they're talking best in decades.
Yeah.
I mean, decades.
I mean, just from a receiver standpoint, like Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State is, I mean, right now he's been the best receiver in college football for the 2 years he's played in college.
I mean, put it this way: you better have pick 9 next year than this year because this year, what's bad about it is had Dante Moore stayed or gone to the Jets, who were going to take him instead of going back to Oregon, that's 2 quarterbacks taken before the Chiefs pick. So another very good player is still on the board.
I mean, that's not as bad. It's one player. It would be worse if the Chiefs were picking in the late 20s or early 30s, because then at that point it'd be much tougher.
Could be 4 or 5.
Yeah, it would be much tougher just because you don't have a whole lot of as much value as you normally would in the late first round.
So we'll talk about that. And Bank, do you like the Arkansas running back? Yeah, we talked about him earlier. We're kind of fans of that from this year.
Yeah, Mike Washington Jr., he looked good.
He's big, too.
Yeah, he's big dude. Yeah, he looked good at the Senior Bowl this week.
A lot of guys look good in the Senior Bowl. We'll talk about kind of who stood out at the Senior Bowl and who didn't. But Travis Kelce, his decision, Chris, is going to be pretty big for the Chiefs. Not pretty big. It's going to be really big.
It's going to be that's a lot of
production
production that you're potentially losing if he were to retire.
It is, and it's a position that unless you're prioritizing tight end and you're saying we want the best, because the top 2 or 3, you can see them as viable day one starters in the NFL. Not like Colston Loveland when he was drafted early and went to the Bears. He was kind of behind Cole Kmet. Now, he did shine kind of towards the end of the season, but you're talking about identifiable tight end number 1s. Probably going to be a stretch at this point if you're not going to use that draft capital at number 9 for a tight end, which I don't think they should do.
I'll say this. I don't think there's a tight end. I don't think Kenyon Sadiq, who is considered a first-round pick, a tight end.
And I like him.
I don't think he's as good as what we saw from Loveland at the end of the season or what we saw all season with Tyler Warren. I don't think that's where to me, he's good. He's talented, but he's not at their level right now. I mean, Tyler Warren came in, was immediately a very good tight end, immediately one of the best in the league. And I don't think that we're going to see that from Sadiq in 26.
We like Stowers, great tight end at Vanderbilt's doing some nice things.
He's got some potential.
He does.
As a receiver, he's not a good blocker.
He's 235 pounds. He's
not a good blocker.
He'll need to gain a little bit of weight to work on the blocking. Max Clare from Ohio State's probably a top 5 guy, but he didn't show the production like they thought he would be when he transferred to Ohio State.
He also had Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith above him catching passes. So.
Jack Indries was at the Shrine Bowl.
He was. Texas, yeah.
So Jack Indries transfer from Cal. He was with Mendoza at Cal when those guys were at Cal before he made the transfer there. But regardless, for Kelce and his decision, it's very important. Because last year it was kind of nice when he said, I'm coming back. And then, okay, you just back off. You just back off on getting a tight end. I felt they've needed to get a tight end for the last couple of years. They've taken stabs at it. Wiley threw a dart at Noah Gray. People are really waiting for Noah Gray. It ain't it. It's not there. It's not there. What you see is what you get with Noah Gray. He's not a tight end 1. Can he be still a tight end on your roster in 12 and 13 personnel, which we're seeing more and more of in the NFL? Sure. But it's not a true tight end 1. And Kelce at 37, he's 36 now, but he'll be 37 during the football season. Which direction he's going? Last year, he still led the Chiefs in yards. So say what you want about him. He's too old. He did lead the Chiefs in yards. He did the year before, too. Matter of fact, the last decade has either been Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill. And even years where Hill would lead it, Kelce would still come in with 1,300 yards. I mean, he was still right behind monster him. Seasons.
Still right behind him, yeah.
He had monster seasons. But if he declares, but if he says, hey, I'm coming back to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs do it reasonably, which, again, there's a lot. He's got a lot of decisions to make, man, because when guys get in their mid-30s, I will say this, if he comes back, it's for one reason. And one reason only. He loves football.
He loves football.
Because you don't come back if you don't 100% love football. And those are the guys you want. You want guys on your team that love football because when you're waking up in the morning or you're in St. Joe and you got to go to practice, when your future wife's a billionaire, when Travis Kelce himself had hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, he could go and probably get more than he could playing tight end in a broadcast booth of $15 million per year, because he's not going to make that if he comes back to the Chiefs. He could make more money. So either you love football, or B, watch his decision, because I think what his decision is what you're going to see from Mahomes. Like, Mahomes is like, man, I'm not coming back for a month. You know, I don't know if Kelce would come back. Now, if Mahomes is like, I'll be ready for game one. I'll be ready for game one. I think it's a decision he comes back. But at the later and later, if he says, nah, man, I'll be back through week 4 or 6, I think that could hamper the decision. I don't know if you agree on that or not, but I think if Mahomes is ready to go, I think that more pro-positive for Kelce coming back than if Mahomes is going to miss, say, a month.
If it was a month, I don't think that would affect it that much. If it was like November, I think that probably does affect it for sure. But yeah, if it was like a month, like we've seen Andy Reid.
You don't want to be 1-3 or 0-4.
We've seen Andy hocus pocus their way to some wins with some man quarterback play before. And especially with the way that defense has played the last few years, even last year, I mean, they still were really good on defense, even if they weren't that effective at the things that they were really good at. They still found ways to get stops and hold teams and not keep teams out of the end zone. So, like, I think you can still, and especially if you got a good running game, you can find ways to make it work, as long as you had some competent quarterback play, not great quarterback play. So I think if it were the case where he missed a month, I don't think it would be as bad. If it were November when he comes back, I think that's a different story.
I still think it's imperative to get off to a good start. I'll say the same thing I did at the beginning of last year. When Rice is going to be gone for 6 games, said it on the air, said this sucks. Because, yeah, they were 3-3, but that is getting buried. And then when Worthy's gone for 3 games, when he's hurt and play 3 in Brazil, then he's going to be out 3, and you're losing Rice, so you don't have your 1 and 2. And you see that a lot. Well, we have Worthy coming back. He's going to be healthy this year. He'll have a year of rest. He'll be fine in year 3. Things are going to be different. You have Rashee Rice back in the fold. This is what we've said the last 2 years. But then when it gets to game 1, you don't have that group. You know, I know freak things happen. Hollywood Brown comes to the Chiefs, hurt in first preseason game. Basically didn't have him all year. Rashee Rice is hurt in game 4 against the Chargers 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, what looks good on paper, your wide receiver room, and it does, but when you get to actual games, the St. Joe Chiefs aren't the Kansas City Chiefs, because it looks good that you got those guys, but then you got to play the games. You have to play the games, and that's what they've had a problem doing. But as far as tight ends, that would, I think, cure a lot of things, and then you wait in maybe the following year. I think tight ends and I think free agency is the way that you go. Isaiah Likely, you know, a guy out there. Pitts, I know another name out there. Because tight end, I don't think you have to break the bank to bring in a tight end.
The only free agent I'm interested in for real, is Pitts.
As tight end one. Like, if Kelce comes back, you'd still make a move on him or not?
Hell yeah, I would. Because, like, here's the thing.
So
Pitts,
you'd be 1A and 1B?
Yeah. Because here's the thing, though. Is
I would take Likely.
You could. I'm not big on Likely because I don't think he's a number 1 tight end. I want someone who has if I'm signing someone and spending decent money on them, I want them to have number 1 potential. Yeah,
because Andrews was there and everything. But
right, but even
if you had Kelce come back, and
even with Andrews being out,
and you had Likely as tight end too, I think that'd work.
Yeah, but my thing is, I want someone who has like real number 1 potential. Like, to me, Likely is not a replacement for Kelce. He's just a tight end too. I would much rather go and get Pitts because, one, I don't think Pitts is going to command crazy money. He might command like decent money, not crazy money. You know, he might get like what Kelce was getting the last few years.
You're not going to have to break the bank for a tight end or running back like you are for wide receivers.
I think you'd have to pay him like similar to what you've been paying Kelce.
Like Pierce in Indianapolis, the wide receiver, he's going to be paid more than these guys are.
Yeah, and Pierce I don't think will be worth it.
He's going to make more money than Breece Hall.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think what'll happen is because Pierce might get like a Christian Kirk type contract when he went to the was it the Jags that he went to and he signed that crazy deal?
That was the year that Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, because he got was it 18 a year or something like that, or 21 a year or something like that. He got crazy money. I don't think Pitts is getting that. Pitts might get like 16 to 18, I think, and I'm fine with that because I feel like if Pitts had great quarterback play and had a scheme that allowed him to like do his thing, I think he'd be good in it. he's shown something. Like last year, especially towards the end of the year, he showed something. His rookie year, he showed something. It's just like the in-between years, it was inconsistent. And I think part of it is he was playing for the Falcons, and they haven't been a great organization in a while. So, yeah, I know. I think Pitt's very high upside there, and he's their kind of tight end for sure.
I do like Algier on the Falcons.
Yeah, I like Algier a lot too.
At running back, that's a guy that I'd take. Not to make you a running back one.
He would be the vet. Yeah, he would be
but
like
in your stable of backs.
Yeah, I would use him in the way that they use Kareem Hunt this year. Like, have him be your short yardage, be your guy that you bring in to kind of spell your number one, and you would use him in that way, and I think you'd be really good at it.
So you would do draft, Algier,
right.
Burchard,
yeah. That's what I would do at running back, yeah. I think that's the best way you go about rebuilding your running back room.
Yeah, it's 1 week ago. And one thing about it is, and I know people really want number one running backs, and we'll talk about that because so does the national media. They love running backs to the Kansas City Chiefs because looking at a fresh set of mocks that came out recently, so 25 of them, will tell you which positions they break down into that people have going to the Kansas City Chiefs out of the 25, plus the players out of the 25, and who is the hottest name in mock drafts going to the Kansas City Chiefs, which will change. It'll change now. It'll change again at the Combine. It'll change again right before the draft, but we'll still get into that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Let's go! You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Chris Uno, Cero producing the operation. The phone number, 913-586-7965. Also the same as the Jay Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Who is your favorites? We got a lot of Baines. We've got some Caleb Downs. We've got some Baileys. We've got plenty of the normal names.
Now, someone texted in Mansour Delane.
Mansour Delane. Going corner in the first round. Do you like Delane? He's okay. I don't know if they need him right now. I mean, of course they need him. Of course they need him. But I don't know if I'd do that in the first round.
If they had their pick of corners in the first round, if they were, and I will say this, I don't think they should take a corner in round one. I think they have bigger needs than corner. But if you're going to take a corner and you have your pick of all the corners there, Colton Hood, Jermod McCoy to me would be.
Has looked good in practice.
He's looked good in practice. Jermod McCoy looks really, really. I mean, didn't play this year because he torn ACL, but I think he's a much more interesting prospect than Delane is. Obviously, you got to worry about the injury, but I mean, I would take one of those two over Delane. I think the problem with Delane, they think he's got short arms, and I think it's like a little bit longer than Trent McDuffie, and we've seen the issues that Trent McDuffie has with the size limitations, especially when he goes against bigger receivers. I think Delane might have the same issues too, and he might have to move inside to nickel. And so at that point, I don't know if and nickel's becoming more important in a lot of teams' defenses, but the nickel that a lot of teams are using now, they're using like bigger, longer, like basically like guys who are like safety size, and I don't think he's quite safety size. So I like Delane, but like to me, I think there's better uses of the first round.
You see a lot of safeties in that role.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. You're seeing a lot of teams now, like the Ravens this year were playing Kyle Hamilton up almost like a linebacker. The Seahawks, they use Nick Emenwari basically as a linebacker.
Caleb Downs will be used.
Yeah, Caleb will be the same thing. He's going to be basically a linebacker. But yeah, I don't think that's the best usage of your first round pick.
And as far as which direction you go in, who you really like, it's going to probably change, or maybe it won't. Maybe you're just dead set on a certain player, and that's who you want to see. We looked at 25. Chris, you wrote them down here, 25 for Monday's character concerns we did than I did today's, and compare them. But as of last Monday when we recorded that, out of the 25, 12 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 6 edge, and 2 corners, 1 safety. Of course, that 1 safety, Caleb Downs.
That's the only safety you would take in round 1.
I hope so. But anyway, that's direction. Once again, it was heavy running back laden, 12 and then 3 receivers, which is interesting. Which direction they went. And keep in mind, the Chiefs have had a lot of success not going first round in corners. I know McDuffie was, but they've had success with Snead in the 4th round, Jalen Watson in the 7th round. They've had success getting defensive backs, not necessarily in the first round. So I did 25 as well, Chris. And the breakdown was this. Edge, 7. You had 6. This one had 7.
Yeah.
At least 25.
Right.
Running back, 13. I mean, they climbed 1. So
I'm telling you, it's the easy pick, man.
It multiplied.
It's just the easy. You don't have to think about it. You just, it's Jeremiah Love.
Wide receiver went from 3 to 2. 3 in yours, 2 in this one. It was Tate was one of them, and Jordan Tyson was the other. 2 tackles, and then so we had 2 tackles.
Oh, yeah, I know. I saw. I can't remember who did it, but they mocked Maui Goa to the Chiefs, and I laughed.
That was one of them. He was one of them. And Fano was another one.
Well, they mocked. Fano's not going to last that long.
Love was 13 of these. Bain was 2 of them. Bailey 2 of them. Kendrick Falk 2 of them. Cassius Howe.
Keldrick Falk.
Keldrick Falk. Yeah, Keldrick Falk. Cassius Howe, who played at Rockers.
Which is laughable.
He was picked actually by Friedman, Matthew, who is like most accurate drafter.
He's definitely not going to be, if that's his final one he makes.
Carnell Tate had 1, Jordan Tyson 1, and Peter Woods actually got in 1. So everybody wants some Jeremiah Love. Text line likes Jeremiah Love. People like Jeremiah Love. And I'm telling you, whenever they put out a mock and you see certain guys like Mel Kiper, didn't Mel Kiper have Jeremiah Love as well?
He did.
Yeah.
He did have Jeremiah Love on his. Though I don't think people are copying him specifically because a ton of people have been mocking Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs before Kiper put his out. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's a super easy, don't have to think about it. Let's just mock Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs.
Chiefs need a running back, just like they were doing with Kelsey early on. Because he's going to be gone. They're going to need Kenyon Sadiq.
Right.
At tight end. But Jeremiah Love's a popular one. And, yeah, I have no doubt that Jeremiah Love will be good in the National Football League. I mean, he's got the athletic traits to be good. He can leap over guys, do a lot of Saquon Barkley type stuff. But, again, do you want a top 10 running back? And if you look at the top 10 rushers this year in the NFL, 4 of them were first-round picks, 6 weren't. If you want to look at the running backs out of the top 10 rushers in the NFL that made the playoffs, 4 of them did, that were first-round picks. 6 of them made the playoffs, were number one backs that weren't first-round picks on teams.
To simplify this out, there were 17,000-yard rushing running backs this year. Only 4 of them were first-round picks. And here's an easy, simple stat for you to realize that, like, it's not efficient taking running backs in round 1. Of the 4 running backs that were in the top 10 for 1,000-yard rushers this year, that were in for rushing yards this year, you know how many wins they have? How many playoff wins those players have with the teams that drafted them? 4 combined wins.
Yep.
Those guys, just because you take someone in the top 10 at running back does not mean you win.
And Kenneth Walker's been a stud.
Yeah, he
on
was a
team
second-round
favorite
pick.
Super Bowl second-round pick.
You
pick
can
41.
you can get running back on day 2, and you can find someone just as good as the guys who are being picked on day 1 at that position. There is no correlation to draft a running back on day 1 and all of a sudden your problems with your running game are fixed and your team's going to go and win a championship. There's just so many better uses for a top 10 pick than a running back. You want to take a running back in the 20s? Fine. It makes sense. Take a running back at number 10, unless Jeremiah Love is the next Hall of Fame running back in the league, it is, and which is incredibly unlikely that would be the case, then you'd be wasting a top 10 pick on a running back.
And look at who they played against and the numbers that they put up when they played them. For instance, Jeremiah Love, 157 yards against Purdue, 103 against Boise. 228 was his best game, but that was against USC. A lot of guys have good games against USC. Now, Miami, to start the season, or typically running backs are ahead of the offense. They actually play well at the beginning of the year. He had 33 yards, 3.3 per carry against the Miami Hurricanes. A team that kept Notre Dame out of the postseason was Miami. He had 33 yards. He follows it up at home the next week against Texas A&M, another playoff team. He had 23 carries for 94 yards. So less than 100 against Miami and A&M. And, again, you put up big numbers against Purdue. What'd you do against the big dogs? What'd you do against the playoff teams in college football playoffs? Didn't do well. So you have to take these into account when you look for certain players.
And there's just other running backs in this class that are very good. And again, we can look at all these guys who were taken in round 1, and it's just not a position that is one you need to take in. To me, it's like drafting guard in the top 10. You know how many good guards have been drafted outside the top 10? The Chiefs hit on a guard in the 6th round a few years ago.
Highest paid in the league.
Yeah, it's not hard to find good running backs outside of round 1. I know people get caught up in a lot of the hype that they see there, and you see those highlights of Jeremiah Love, and he looks awesome. But many of the times, a lot of these running backs, they don't have a lot of hype that come in and they're really good. I mean, James Cook had no hype whatsoever coming out of Georgia. A guy I loved. I was a huge fan of James Cook. And I've been advocating for years. And the minute the Bills decided they want to start using him, all of a sudden you fix your problems with your offense with not having any great receivers. To me, it's like if you can go here's the other thing, and someone brings it up on the text line. He wasn't the only good running back on his team. They also have another guy named Jadarian Price who's really awesome, too.
Yeah, Price is stud.
Price is awesome. He's really, really good. Kalen Black at Indiana, really, really good. He's really started to surge the last month or so. There's a lot like Emmett Johnson. Someone else on the text line brought him up. Emmett Johnson the running back out of Nebraska. There's lots of good running backs in this draft class. You don't need to use a top 10 pick on a position that is not hard to find good players at. You can find edge rush, receiver, and even receiver. You can find guys later in the draft, but edge rusher, you can find rotational guys after round 1, but it's hard to find really good ones outside of round 1. There's just a lot of positions that are easier to hit on than running back.
For example,
harder to hit on the running
Jadarian
back.
Price actually had more yards rushing against Miami with only 6 carries. He averaged 7.5 yards a carry. He was better than Jeremiah Love against the Hurricanes. Against USC, Jeremiah Love had that huge game. Well, he didn't get as many carries. He had 13 for 87, 6.7 per, and a touchdown. These things do matter. And Reuben Bain, which a lot of people like, I will remind people, Akeem Mesidor actually led the Hurricanes in sacks, not Bain. And it is always risky when you have 2 first-round picks on a defensive line and you go one direction. I haven't even talked about his arm length. Also, go to his game logs. Weeks 3 through 10, Ruben Bain had 1.5 sacks.
Just
1.5 sacks.
Not even just that. Going into the final game of the regular season, he had 3 sacks total. Going into the final game of the regular season. And then after that last game of the regular season and the playoff run, he had 6.5. But he had only 3 sacks going into the final regular season game. We were not talking about him as a first-round pick until he had that game against Texas A&M. After that game, everybody was talking about him, hyping him up. But nobody was talking about Ruben Bain going into that last regular season game.
He went on a 6-game stretch starting in week 3 with only a half sack in those games. He had 4 straight games without a sack whatsoever. Then he had 1 and then went back down to 0. So, yeah, he did show up against A&M, but he didn't show up against Ole Miss in the semifinals. Didn't show up. But my question is, do you want someone that shows up every game? Or weeks 3 through 10, do you want a guy in an 8-week stretch that just came up with 1.5 sacks? Is that scream top 10 pick to you? A guy that has 1.5 sacks through weeks 3 through weeks 10 of college football? Or is it Akeem Messidor is actually drawing the attention on that defensive line rather than Ruben Bain? And we haven't even talked about the arm length yet, which isn't official yet until it's actually measured.
But they think it's 30.5, which is way short.
Which would be a half a foot shorter than Myles Garrett.
It's almost half a foot. It's really, really short. Usually teams like him to be at least 33 inches. He'd be 30.5, which is an inch longer than Trent McDuffie's short arms. Someone on the text line says, they want to say that Bain did break the SEC record for pressures in a season.
He wasn't in the SEC.
Yeah, no, he's not in the SEC. He's in the ACC. And also on top of that, no one cares about pressures. George Karlaftis is one of the best edge rushers in the league at pressures. Doesn't get a ton of sacks.
Gelati, too.
Yeah, Gelati. He was one of the best players in the league at getting pressure. Didn't get a ton of sacks. So, to me, pressures don't mean anything if you're not able to get to the quarterback, too. Like if you're just getting pressure, well, you can work around that pressure. You can chip, you can double guys up. You can find ways around that.
Someone asked, who do we actually want? We're doing the mock on Monday. We put it out Tuesday. We're doing all
me and Bink, we disagree on this pick, but generally we're thinking edge rusher or receiver.
Now we did put one out for top 3 right after the Chiefs were eliminated from the playoffs. We went Cardinal Tate 1, Zion Young 2, and then we went Justice Haynes 3.
Someone did bring up,
round, but Justice is going back to school, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, someone did bring up David Bailey from Texas Tech. No, we don't want him. We're good on him. Well, I'm good on him. Bink wants a receiver. I want
whose choice is it for first pick again?
It'd be mine.
Yeah, yours.
It'd be mine this time.
Yeah. I had some Cardinal.
It would not be David Bailey, I'll tell you that.
Hey, Zion looked good, man.
It would not. Zion did look good. T.J. Parker at Clemson looked really good. So there's a lot of good options there. Yeah, I'm not interested in David Bailey. Just for y'all know, David Bailey's not a fit for the Chiefs defense at all. He's not their type of guy, and also David Bailey is terrible against the run.
We'll get into more of this later. Talk about some of the coaching staff changes as well. Barely got into that, but get into that a little bit more next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to After. Jay Binkley, Chris Sinocero. Chris, it's going to, I think we got another day of cold, but then it's going to start warming up a little bit.
Yeah.
41 Sunday, 46 Monday.
Next weekend is supposed to get almost into like around the 50s.
Yeah, 37 Tuesday, 33 Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, 48. It's going to be a melting week.
They were saying, like last weekend, they were saying we might get snow tonight, but that's done. But the East Coast is getting smashed right now with snow. Like North Carolina, they're getting I think half a foot of snow.
We've only had 2 shovelable snows all winter.
I think up in like the Boston area, they're supposed to get like a foot and a half or something like that, like something crazy.
They're getting hammered.
And
they got down south.
Yeah, they got hammered last. Oh yeah, man, it's real bad out there.
It's bad. Other places got it really, really bad. Real quick, let's go to Big T in Shawnee. What's up, Big T?
Hey, Bink. Thanks for taking my call. And Chris, I'm just out getting done doing a rehearsal dinner for some catering for OSP. So just out working tonight and listening to you on the radio, Bink.
Well, they picked a good weekend to get married, right? So it's
well, yeah, they're getting married tomorrow. At least they're getting married where there's no football going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's a good point.
Hey, Bink. So that was some good stuff, that last segment. But I just kind of got a question. You know, you bring up Jeremiah Love and or Jermaine Love, and you talk about that Miami game. Well, you could probably go back to any running back who's ever been drafted in the history of the NFL who's had one bad game against a quality opponent. Now, I'm not questioning you. You know, I respect what you said, what he did in that game, but also I love that guy's numbers. He's never fumbled his whole career. 45 touchdowns. He's a touchdown machine.
Oh, he's a very good player, man. There's no doubting that he's not a great player. And he put up some big numbers this year. But again, I don't think the Chiefs need a top 10 running back.
No, I disagree. I think we do. We got to hit that. Give Bieniemy some him, and he was there. Ben Johnson diagramming that lethal running tack down in Chicago.
But here's the one thing, Big T. Who are they going to throw to? Who's Mahomes going to throw the ball to?
No, I hear you. We need a receiver too. But I'd like to see him maybe get Juan Jennings or maybe a free agent. But I like that Mesmore guy you're talking about better than Bain. Mesmore, he's a senior. He's a little older, and he's a little bit more mature. That might be
he's older. He's
but
way older.
He is way older.
He's way older.
No, he is. But also, Bink, what about the safety? I can't remember his name, but the safety
Downs?
out of Ohio
Downs?
State. Yeah, if he's there, man, I say the Chiefs take him. He's a game changer. He's disciplined. He's good on the run. He can play the pass, and if you need to ask him to do sack the quarterback, he could do that too. So whichever direction they go, they need to hit this. They need to hit the free agency. They don't have much money, but let's get a running game going and help Pat out. And as always, let's go Chiefs and Royals. Royals coming up, baby.
That's right.
Choo-choo!
Thanks, Big T. And speaking of Royals, Josh Vernier, 9 o'clock tomorrow, 9 to 12 at the Royals rally. Tomorrow, so Vern's got you covered. A little taste of baseball tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. right here, 96.5. The Fan is Vern's in action there. But, they need to work on their running back situation. Dylan McCullough, we brought up, they requested an interview with him with the Raiders. They haven't approved it at this point because it's a lateral move, unless the Chiefs want to say running back coach / assistant head coach. That's something they could do. Or Kubiak could come in there if he's hired as the head coach and bring his own guys in, and Dylan McCullough is gone at this point. But your choices become a little more thinned out when you wait this long. And when guys are in a Super Bowl, the guys had to wait for the Chiefs coaches to be this long anyway. They are running it back with different coaches. You see the familiarity, the loyalty, that's what they want. And I've come to the point that's just who they are and what they're going to do. It's not my choice of that direction. You go a different direction and bring in different coaches that haven't been here before, but that's not what they're going to do. And, that's the direction I would go, is new, fresh faces to be in your coaching staff. But what are you really going to get? Because if you get an offensive coordinator, the job title doesn't say, hey, come in with your offense, we're going to run it. It's not the job title of offensive coordinator with the Chiefs. It comes very special in the fact that the head coach actually calls the plays, and also you're sitting at a table with Patrick Mahomes as well. So if you have this vision that I'm going to come in and run my offense, it's not here. And will it be here eventually? Will they do that kind of system? Maybe so. A lot of offensive coordinators have the autonomy to do what they want. They don't in Kansas City. That's just part of the job description.
Yeah, there was never going to be this exhaustive search to get a new person, a new voice in here. Because, the new voice, Andy's not going to listen to a new voice. Andy's going to do things how he wants to do them. He needs someone that can convince him to do the things that he needs to do. And Andy's not everybody's going to be able to do that. So that's the reason why Bieniemy makes a lot of sense. And not only that, but like the players want to be coached by Eric Bieniemy. Like all that we've heard about these, and I guarantee you, like Patrick was consulted on this. They asked him about it. Guarantee you they were talking around to some of their people to make sure, hey, you sure you want this? Because like it is a big decision there. And I guarantee you that got signed off on their part, and that's the reason why it ended up working out the way that it did. So we can sit here and like
it's just what they're going to do.
We can fantasize
that's what they're gonna do.
All the different people that they can bring in, but at the end of the day, Andy's going to do things how he wants to do things. And, you know, my thing about it is like I trust Andy to be able to fix it because Andy has changed the offense multiple times in his tenure here in Kansas City. So, you know, if you think that they're just, I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they do just run the same thing over and over again, and then eventually we watch the offense grind to a halt over time. Maybe they do. But maybe Andy is able to do what he's done his entire career, which is adjust to the changing times and kind of reinvent the wheel like he's done multiple times, like he did in 22 after they lost Tyreek Hill, like he did in 2017 when they drafted Patrick Mahomes and basically spent a year play testing the new offense with Alex Smith. Look, if there's anybody that I trust to make this change the offense for the better, it's Andy.
It is, and it's his choice because this really hasn't been an option. Get a bunch of new coaches into the coaching staff. They pretty much kept a lot of the same cast and crew, especially in the key positions. Just not a place that you go and you have new ideas and fresh ideas. It's worked to this point. We'll see how much longer it works. And they're on the clock. They're on the clock to make it succeed this year because this is the choice, this direction that they're going to go.
And here's the thing: is like Andy is constantly introducing new ideas into his offense. All the time.
I mean, I would definitely go in a different direction, but again, I haven't been to 3 straight Super Bowls either.
Yeah, like I said, my thing is Andy has done it before, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, if they have the same exact issues next year, okay, we can come back to this and we can revisit this conversation.
Then you need change.
Then at that point, yes, you do need change. But to me, Andy has built enough cachet that he deserves the opportunity to fix it.
He does. I mean, certainly his track record and what he's accomplished would dictate that you're right on that, and you find a system that works because sometimes guys just don't work in their places. Sometimes they go and try different ideas. It just doesn't work except from where they've been. And we've seen this time in and time out. You know, guys that are pigeonholed to the position. Like Norv Turner got his chance to be head coach, but he proved he's more of an offensive coordinator. Dom Capers had his chance, but he's proved he's more of a defensive coordinator. And I think Spags, he's had his chance, but I think he is more of a defensive coordinator.
Right.
And some guys just find out what they're O'Shea, their wide receiver coach. That's what he is. He's a wide receiver coach. So being, you know, these visions of being an offensive coordinator and a head coach down the line, it's not going to happen. It's not the direction I would go. I would always hire a coach that wants to be promoted to the next level. I bring up Hayden Fry all the time when he was at Iowa because he had the guys like Bob Stoops, Barry Alvarez, Bill Snyder, guys that went somewhere and not only went somewhere but turned around programs. And yes, Oklahoma was in bad shape before Bob Stoops got there, but certainly Wisconsin and what Barry Alvarez did there, flipping that team around. And, of course, goes without mentioning what Bill Snyder and the success he had at Kansas State. But he hired coaches that he could see being head coaches in the future, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, and then we've also seen times where they do that, and then those guys leave, and you replace them with guys who aren't as good as the guys that left.
We've seen it happen to New England.
Yeah.
Romeo Crennel getting his shot.
They just kept replacing them, and eventually
comes right back. Weiss getting his shot.
Yeah.
You know.
Eventually it doesn't work, and they either come back or they go elsewhere, and you can't replace them very well.
Like Josh McDaniels, like the perfect example of a guy that doesn't work anywhere except where he's at.
Yeah, and also you look at it as like it got to a point where Bill Belichick was out here hiring defensive coordinators to be his offensive coordinator because it was just such a mess, and he just didn't have a lot of people that he meshed with like that.
Speaking of Belichick, we'll get to him in about 15 minutes or so. But coming next, we'll look back at the Senior Bowl this week and kind of who stood out through these practices that you say, okay, that'd be a good fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll do that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
It's about time your deliveries worked as fast as you do. Your jobs can't wait. That's why the Home Depot delivers when and where you need it. Scheduled, next day, or even same day. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
When winter's chill hits, trust Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. For a limited time, get up to $2,000 in instant savings on a new HVAC system from Hamilton. Our pros offer expert installation, flexible financing, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. But don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brian's headed to the basketball court, but he's sick of this check engine light. So he goes to AutoZone for the free Fix Finder service,
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
where a friendly AutoZoner reads the light in just a few minutes and gives him a detailed report,
No big, just a loose gas cap.
and gets him to the court with a tight gas cap and tighter defense. The free Fix Finder service at AutoZone. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Chiefs Off-Season Show, Tuesday, February 10th at 9 a.m. on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
7 o'clock hour. Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Chris Unocero. 913-586-7965 is the phone number. Welcome back to 96.5 The Fan. Don't forget Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, 9 to noon tomorrow at the Royals rally. I wish Vern could have some 60-degree weather, man. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, guys, it's going to be inside and stuff there, too. But, you know, for baseball and everything, like, man, can't Vern have nice things once in a while?
He gets great weather all season long.
He's
What are
not
we talking
tomorrow.
about? That's fine. It's January. Well, yeah, it's still January. It's fine. He's going to be all right. He gets great weather the entire season. He'll be all right.
I'm just wishing Vern had nice things, man.
Vern has nice things. He's had months off. He has not done very much work the last few months.
He's done a little traveling.
I know he is. I'll say this.
Lost a little hair.
He's had travel. He didn't have a whole lot.
He finally gave up on that.
I know he did, but he's had a great delay. I know that he's been very happy to focus more on his sports betting now that baseball's done, because we were talking about that
Sports
before the
betting in
season.
Missouri, by the way, the numbers are
I'm
very
sure
good for it.
Oh, he's very happy about that. I know. Gary, we were talking about that before. He's very happy about that on the Missouri side now.
He'd have to drive to Kansas.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't have to come to work.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, which, I mean, I've seen Vern twice since the pandemic, I think. Maybe 3 times since the pandemic.
Didn't have to get the old Quick Trip Casino.
Oh, he's living good. He's living good right now.
So Shrine Bowl and Senior Bowl, did you
Yes.
Again,
we
the Shrine Bowl.
we texted all week about the
did.
Senior Bowl.
We wanted some more Shrine Bowl practices.
I did see some footage.
I watched the Shrine Bowl, by the way, but a lot of the main stars had left.
I watched the Shrine Bowl. It was not a good game. But yeah, I watched I watched all the Senior Bowl practices for both teams on there. I mean, I was watching so much film this week. So this is prime time right here, doing the crunch on film work. And yeah, it was a good week of practice, I think, for the defense. For the offense, it was terrible.
It did. Some guys really stood out, like Lee Hunter, defensive tackle from A&M, or not A&M, but Texas Tech. He looked really good.
Lee's real. He might be a first round pick.
I think he'll be in the first round.
Yeah, I think he might be a first round pick. And you remember, I brought him up after the Oregon game earlier this month about, like, hey man, this dude is a grown ass man for real. And he looked real good at the Senior Bowl.
And there were some good safeties that showed up, like Bud Clark at TCU. He really stepped up and showed some things.
Bud Clark was very good, yeah.
Jacoby Thomas is a guy I really like from Miami that you can get day 3 type deal.
Bud Clark is going to be a day 3 safety,
3.5 sacks,
too.
5 interceptions. I mean, he did a lot. He's the one that bloodied Mendoza during that game. But again, that's a late safety you can get. That's a very Caleb Downs light that you can get if you want to put it in that direction.
Yeah. No, like I said, Bud Clark, I thought he made himself some money this past
Colton
week.
Hood, we talked about him, that corner from Tennessee.
Yeah, he's shot up all the way into like the mid first round when nobody was really talking about him like that. It was really his teammate who didn't even play this year, Jermod McCoy at corner, who was really the guy that everyone was talking about there. But Colton Hood is shot up to like right around where Jermod is looking at too. So like mid first.
Some of the wide receivers that really stood out to me at the Senior Bowl, Tyron Montgomery's getting a lot of run. He's from John Carroll, Division II type player. Late add to the Senior Bowl, but he made the best of it, and he made himself some money. Josh Cameron's a guy I really like, 6'1", right around 230 pounds. He's a wide receiver from Baylor. He's built like a running back. But last year, he was first team all Big 12 punt returner. He averaged over 20 yards a punt return. Would have led the nation, but didn't have enough punt returns to qualify. I think he had like 14, something like that. But a good receiver who does a good job as far as creating space for himself.
He's a 50-50
catching the
guy.
football. But it's going to be a guy in the mid to late rounds. And then there's Malachi Fields.
Yeah.
That's
Notre
6'4",
Dame,
6'4",
huge.
over 225 pounds probably. I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And he caught everything. He dropped just one pass, I think, there. But Malachi is looked to be a round 3 projection.
I've seen
he got himself in the round 2.
I've seen mid round 2 before the Senior Bowl. So I think he might be early second round. Depending on how he looks at the combine, he might be early second. Because I've seen mid-second for Malachi.
It's a big receiver. I know MVS was 6'4" and all that, but he didn't use that size. This guy uses that size.
Yeah, because MVS is like 180. But no, this dude's he's like a small tight end. That's kind of what he is weight-wise. He's a small tight end. He's like I said, he's about 6'3", 220, 225, something like that. He's big, real big.
So Zion Young, I thought, really stood out, the Missouri edge. I mean, he was a man amongst boys in that situation. Derek Moore from Michigan really shown out. I don't know where you have Derek. Do you have him going in the first at this point?
No.
Early second?
I think somewhere between second and third.
So you'll have good edge rushers in the second round.
The thing I want to see and here's the thing is like Derek Moore was not super consistent. And so that's the thing. And same thing with Zion, not super consistent. That's the thing that concerns me about those two. I really want to see what those two do at the combine. But, I mean,
Zion's going to have a good combine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so, too.
With his motor?
Yeah. I'll say this. The guy, to me, that looked the best the entire week is T.J. Parker, the edge rusher from Clemson.
Yeah.
To me, he has otherworldly strength. I think he looks like the best edge rusher. I mean, to me, from what I've seen thus far, I would take him over Bain. I would take him over Keldrick Falk. I mean, he's probably my favorite edge rusher in this class right now.
I don't know if there's a huge difference between the early edges and the late first-round edges.
It depends. Because here's my thing.
You throw Messidor in there with Zion Young and Derek Moore and those kind of guys.
And I'm not
Max Llewellyn.
And I'm not Llewellyn. No, I'm not interested in Llewellyn.
He's at least fourth or fifth rounder.
I think he's there. I think he's third day for sure. He didn't look that great to me. Jennings Dunker whooped his ass on when they were doing one-on-ones. I think on day one. Yeah, his teammate took him down. But look, T.J. Parker, grown man strength. I'm really going to be interested in what he does on the bench reps.
He was there with Peter Woods.
Very strong edge rusher out of Clemson. Wasn't like super productive, but generated pressure. And man, you watch him. He is a spat of the fits. For edge rusher in this class, he's the best fitting edge rusher in this class for the Chiefs. He's a Spags guy through and through. Great against the run. He's a power rusher. He can win quick with the power. He can win with speed. His long arm that he was showing off at the Senior Bowl practice, he was pushing guys straight back into the quarterback.
He was. And Zion, to me, I love his moves. His get off is pretty good.
Yeah,
his get off. He gets the quarter. He'll have to rein some of that in the NFL because they'll trap him.
Yeah, they'll take advantage. They'll take advantage.
They'll take it. He's got to reel some of this in. But the dude's motor, you can always reel a motor in a little bit.
Yeah,
you can't always give that motor
right
to certain players. And that's what Dayton used to talk about. Some of the Royals players, you can You can rein that fire in, but you can't always give them that.
You
fire.
can't. Yeah, you can't make someone more assertive. I mean, I remember asking Bill Self about that when it came to what was it, Perry Ellis back when he was playing at KU?
10 years he was there.
I was like, he was there forever. I was like, how do you get more out of him in that regard? And he didn't really have a good answer for that because you can't really do it. So you're right about that. But like I said, to me, the guy that really stood out the most was T.J. Parker from Clemson. I thought he was the best guy there, and I think
he made some money.
I think he is. If he looks really good at the combine, we're going to be talking about him at number 9 to the Chiefs real soon, I think.
Your guy Jake Slaughter had a good game. He put himself in probably the mid 34.
He looked good. Him, Andrew Barber, I think looked pretty decent. He might have to move inside though. But yeah, no, and one guy, local player, Sam Hecht from Kansas State, center, looked good. He looked real good. He was getting some one-on-ones against some of those defensive tackles. He looked good. I think he had one against Lee Hunter that he did pretty well at.
And if you want to throw a dart in a mid-round tight end, like round 4 or 5, Tanner Koziel at Houston, he showed some nice stuff for a mid-round type tight end type player that you have. For a tight end 2 or 3.
I don't think the tight ends looked that great.
I thought Tanner looked good.
I wasn't impressed with the tight ends. But yeah, the receivers were like the offense in general wasn't like none of the quarterbacks impressed me. I was impressed by some linemen.
Oh, quarterbacks, you're screwed.
Yeah, if you need a quarterback this year, you're not in a good position. It's a terrible It's a terrible time to need a quarterback.
Like the Jets. What are they? They got a guy going back to college that could have made 54
I think they were hoping that they were going to get they were tanking this year and hoping they were going to get like the top quarterback. And then they didn't tank well enough. The Raiders did, and so now they're not.
Without a quarterback, they're probably drafted in the same spot.
Oh, they will. They will be drafting in the same, maybe number 1 overall next year. And maybe they'll have a chance to get Arch, which would be a disaster. We'll probably see Archie Manning step in and tell them, do not draft Arch. I don't want him playing there. We'll
see what Arch's progression has been from this year. He got better towards the end of the year. We'll see if he can make that switch between this year and last year.
If he's better,
he can make some serious money if he does.
If he can throw with better anticipation and go through his reads better and be a little bit more patient, he'll be fine. He'll be good.
Now, as far as the long arms or short arms, and it's often, is that a big deal or not? It's not a big deal. We've seen guys with shorter arms do well. Well, Will Campbell, who's starting at left tackle for the Patriots, that's been his knock, was the shorter arms, and he's really struggled down the stretch protecting Drake Maye, been able to get by with it, but it's a guy that's probably positioned more for guard. It does matter, especially when teams are drafting tackles with 34 and 35-inch arms. Matter of fact, Andy Reid's always drafted a tackle with 34-inch arms. The one time he didn't was Josh Simmons. He had 33. But usually it's all 34. Not usually. Every time he's been at least 34 with Andy Reid. But it does make a difference when you're playing against NFL talent as opposed to ACC or SEC talent. Sorry, those conferences are good. Different deal in the pros.
Here's the thing about like Ruben Bain, and a lot of the Bain truthers are gonna bring up what he did in the playoff. Here's the thing, man. People have been talking about him moving inside to defensive tackle. There's a very, very realistic chance that Ruben Bain will play inside
and
as
he's
a
okay
defensive
with
tackle.
that.
And he's fine with that. Yeah, he'll do whatever he needs. The Chiefs don't need another pass rushing defensive tackle. They do need a nose tackle. Absolutely. They need a big guy that's going to clog up the A-gap, going to pull 2 guys in, and is going to dominate against the run. They absolutely need that. But that's not Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain is a guy that he's going to be hit or miss on a lot of plays because of his size. He's got a good motor, but there's physical limitations that are going to be out there. And we've seen what physical limitations can do to you. Look at Trent McDuffie this past year, going up against receivers that are much bigger than him and much more physical than him, and they were bullying him in some games. That's going to happen with Ruben Bain. And so it's like, to me, it's like I'm not using top 10 pick on a guy that's going to get bullied in a lot of games against guys who are just way bigger than he is. So I like Bain a lot. And, he would have to put on weight in order to play defensive tackle, I think. I mean, unless you're just going to use him like Mike Dana. And, I think you kind of have a Mike Dana already in Gelati. So that's the reason why I like Bain. Just it doesn't work for me. And I just think there's some major limits. And again, there are a lot of teams out there that think he's a defensive tackle, not an edge rusher.
And one guy we really liked when we thought the Chiefs would be drafting kind of towards the end, at least in the playoffs, in that range, was Christian Miller at Georgia? Because he can play outside or inside. That guy can do a lot of different things.
He didn't play much on the outside. He was mainly either a nose or a 3-tech. He's huge.
But he can do 7 if they want.
He can do 7 if they want, but like that's probably not a good idea at this level to play him 7. He's like a pure defensive tackle. Like I said, most of his snaps were inside. Like a large majority of his snaps were inside. But like, you're not taking Christian in the first round. Like if you're taking a defensive tackle round 1, if Lee Hunter shoots up, maybe, but Lee Hunter upside as a pass rusher, but is a great run defender. And again, like if the Chiefs were picking late first round and didn't have an edge rush problem, but still needed defensive tackle, yeah. Like if this were last year's draft and Lee Hunter was sitting there at 31, 32, oh yeah, you go get him. Like you go take him. But yeah, he's just not really the type of dude you need.
Well, but getting the flexibility of defensive lines, what a lot of people are looking for, a guy that can play the edge or switch inside, like Chris Jones. They can do outside, inside, whichever direction you want to go. We'll get back to that, and we'll get back to the receiver question for the Kansas City Chiefs and who might be available in the draft, if that's the direction that you went, the direction that I think they should go. Chris and I butt heads on that all the time. I'm sure we'll do it again here. But
we're going to butt heads the entire draft season.
We will. And
because I hear you. I heard you on Wednesday on Fesco.
Yeah.
Who's Mahomes going to throw to? He has receivers to throw to.
Okay.
He needs a better scheme. He needs a better running game.
We'll get to that.
They need an edge.
We'll get to that because I disagree. But I will say this: the top two, the leader in sacks in the NFL the last 2 years, the Denver Broncos, and they're watching the Super Bowl on the couch like we are.
Yeah, your 4 teams that played in the championship games this year, all of them were top 10 defense.
Hey, Chiefs were top 10 in every category last year.
Yeah, they couldn't rush the passer very well, though.
And they've been to the Super Bowl not rushing the passer, and they've gotten the job done.
They generally have a very good pass rush when they go to the Super Bowl.
The problem is they've been to the Super Bowl with bad receivers and with a bad pass rush at times.
They have not been bad at rushing the passer.
No,
they've
57
been
and 58 they were good.
That's what I'm saying. Is like
59 they weren't.
They have been very good. They have been at least good at pass rushing. They have never been to a Super Bowl with a bad pass rush. They have been to a Super Bowl with a bad receiving corps.
But coming up next, we'll do some Bill Belichick. I know you want to talk some Bill Belichick getting into the Hall of Fame, and that was a big story this week. It really shocked me, to be honest with you. We'll discuss that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, Mom. It's me. Oh, my gosh. You'll never believe what I just opened for Valentine's Day. A sapphire ring from Hellsberg. Just like the one I lost years ago. Remember how excited I was when you gave it to me? I cannot believe you remembered that story. I guess you were right. I really found the one.
This Valentine's Day, create a moment that means something with up to 40% off gifts at Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Men, the new year is here. And if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements: more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Delden, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Did you know that you can watch all your favorite shows right on YouTube? We're live streaming Fesco and Dusty, Cody and Gold, The Drive, and After Hours all day long. So if you want to look at the beautiful Alex Gold, interact with Cody Tapp in the chat, or gaze at the ruggedly handsome Dusty Likens, just go to YouTube and watch them while you pretend to work. Go to our channel, hit subscribe, and stay up to date with 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Chris Sunocero. Looks like the salary cap is going to go from about $302 million to $305 million. So it's going to raise
$15 to $18 million increase.
Yeah, so it's going to go up yet again, which you know it's going to happen because it went from Chiefs were expecting around $270 million last year. It ended up being $279. So that's why they went out real quick and got the Trey Smith deal done and George Karlaftis right after the salary cap in strength. But going up to 303 to 305 this year was a 255 just in 24. Put it this way, it was at $208 million back in 2022, going all the way up. It's almost gone up $100 million just since 2022. So it keeps going up and making things easier to get contracts settled for teams. But Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame was the kind of the big story this week, and I don't know where you come out on this, Chris. I am curious. I was stunned that he wasn't in it because, you know, we're talking the second most wins ever between regular season and postseason. He's got 6 Super Bowl wins as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator. He went to he lost a couple of Super Bowls as well, 2 to the Giants and 1 to the Eagles, but he still went. He still went to those 9 as a head coach, and he went to 1 as an assistant with Bill Parcells. He was an assistant, like a cornerbacks coach on that team that he lost. But he has 8 rings at that point, and I don't feel you can tell the story of the NFL without putting him in it. And I know some people have backtracked on and at least come out and said where they voted and who they did, why they didn't vote Bill Belichick in because they thought he was going to get in because they wanted the senior candidates to go in, and I understand that, but I don't see how you can leave him off your ballot, despite senior candidates, whatever. As far as the Hall of Fame, that dude belongs being in it.
My thing is this, and I tweeted this out after. If you did not vote for Bill Belichick, you shouldn't have a Hall of Fame vote. It's as simple as that. This is This is a slam dunk case.
Because I understand you want seniors in, they're going to drop off the ballot.
I respect Vahe Gregorian's take.
I respect that, but again, it's Belichick we're talking about.
To me, you're being irresponsible with your vote, and I don't think you should have it. The point of voting on a Hall of Fame is to put the most qualified people in. And here's the thing. I agree that Ken Anderson, the OG West Coast quarterback, Roger Craig, the OG West Coast running back,
who went 1,000 and 1,000.
Yeah, first to do it. Deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But you have to include Bill Belichick on your ballot. As simple as that.
Because it waters it down. When you see the candidates out there, you don't have Bill going in.
Because then what's the point of having a Hall of Fame if you're not going to put the most qualified people in when they're on the ballot? Like, as simple as that. Like, there's not anybody that you could feasibly put in on the ballot above him that was on the ballot. Like that's the most slam dunk case you could have for a person on the ballot.
Yeah, in the text line talking about the cheating scandals and everything else.
I don't care.
He won 3 Super Bowls after Spygate. But here's the one thing about it, and other coaches have said it. Here's the thing. Sign stealing has gone on in the NFL. They got caught doing it, but it's not like other teams don't do it. It's not like other teams didn't do it. And remember Jimmy was talking about that, how other teams would do it. Of course other teams did it. Just like Bountygate. When that came out in New Orleans, oh, my God, they have bounties on players. Newsflash, this is what teams have been doing in football for decades. New Orleans had an advanced spreadsheet on it, but trust me, New Orleans wasn't the only team doing a bounty.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I heard it at the high school level when I was playing high school, so that's not anything new. Here's the thing: is like you had multiple coaches, Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher, both came out after that vote came out and said that they were part of staffs that were trying to do the same thing, and they heard about other staffs that were doing the same thing as far as Spygate goes. As far as Deflategate goes, the NFL found later on that it was actually the cold air that reduced the PSI in the balls.
Michigan stole signals.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, we have heard we have seen multiple instances where like those scandals actually aren't even that big. Like my thing is this. I think that what happened is that Bill Polian, who got his ass kicked a lot by Bill Belichick, and there was a lot of people questioning his legacy as a decision maker, and also who is friends with Robert Kraft, by the way.
But he did vote for him.
That's what he said, but then after that, he came out and he said, "Oh, I think I voted for him."
But the Hall of Fame went back and they verified.
Did they actually verify that?
So
okay. Well,
Polian did vote for Belichick.
So we confirmed that he actually voted for him.
Yeah.
Okay. But he reportedly had gone to other people and told them, "Hey, maybe give him a year off." Because
that's
of that
the
scandal.
The sports writers or people like Polian and stuff, they want to put you in timeout.
That's my problem.
If they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, go ahead and put him there because he's going to get in there regardless.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't make any sense to do that. And I think Bill Polian, I don't think that story came out of nowhere. I think that there was some, maybe not at the vote, but probably ahead of time. Hey, maybe hold off for a year.
Yeah.
I do think that there was a lot of maneuvering behind the scenes because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. And here's my thing about it is like maybe we should change who is the one that's doing the voting on the Hall of Fame because there's a lot of people in the media that have egos.
I remember Terrell Owens.
He missed twice.
But he deserved it.
Terrell Owens is probably, you can make a strong case. I mean, easy case, he's top 5. You make a very strong case he's the 3rd best receiver in NFL history. He should be an easy, Terrell Owens, check, easy vote in on the first ballot. Easy vote in. I don't care if you didn't like him as a player off the field. You didn't like his antics on the field with the star and with all the celebrations. I don't really care about that. Like, if that's your opinion, I don't really give a damn. My thing is this. Is his resume worthy of the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. And if that's the case, that's all you need.
It's a no-brainer. You see that it's a 6 Super Bowl titles as head coach. You're in.
My
number
thing
one
is this.
postseason wins all time.
It's about giving people the due respect that they earned from what they contributed to the game. And there is nobody on that ballot that was more deserving than Bill Belichick. And if you can't put him in the Hall of Fame in the first year, you invalidate what the Hall of Fame means. Because the Hall of Fame is about celebrating the people that are the most important to the story of professional football. And if the guy who was probably the greatest coach in NFL history is not in there when he's eligible to be in there, you're invalidating your entire storytelling process.
Look, it's hard to go walk in there and not see him there when he's eligible. That you can't tell the story of the NFL without Bill.
Yeah. Like, you just can't. And that's like I said, that's my part about it, is like, you invalidate the whole Hall of Fame process when you don't include him in it when he's eligible to be on it. Now, we can question the process of how they go about doing the voting, and it sucks. It's not good. There was a lot less people that got put in last year than in previous years, and that needs to be revisited because it's controversial, and there's probably going to be less people announced this year, and people are going to be mad about that too, and that's going to be a problem, I think, for the NFL.
Well, just like the vendetta against steroid guys, the
right,
baseball writers.
Yeah, which is stupid because baseball allowed it for a long time. They knew it was happening, and they allowed it.
They turned the other cheek.
Yeah,
the guys made a lot of money covering the sport.
Tons of money. The league made so much money after the strike destroyed their popularity. And, all of a sudden now we're going to put our nose up and act like, hey, that didn't contribute to the sport because they cheated. Like, well, if everybody's doing is it cheating? Like, cheating implies you get an unfair advantage, but if a bunch of guys, of all the guys, well, not all the guys, but like if most of the top guys are doing it, is it cheating? I wouldn't say that. So, like, my thing is, like, if you can't, if this person contributed as much as a guy like Belichick did, he has to be in when he's eligible. And
he always respected the game and the people that came before it. I just see if he's on the ballot, it would be an easy, you got to mark it. You just have to. When guys like that come up, there's just certain guys that are no-brainers. When Tom Brady comes up, that's boom, you hit the box. He's in.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like, is that easy? Like, you didn't have to make it, because like usually there's somebody there making a case. There's presentations on players getting in, and like Bill Belichick is not one of those people that needs a presentation. You go, Bill Belichick, okay, he's in. That's it. That's all you have to do. Same thing with Tom Brady. It's going to be the same thing with Patrick Mahomes when he retires. Travis Kelce when he's eligible. Like, there's a lot of players out there you don't. Myles Garrett. Is there going to be a discussion for Myles Garrett? No. Myles Garrett. Yep, we're good. Let's vote. Like, that's like a Congress voice vote type situation.
Yeah, because there's certain guys, or you're right. You don't have to, because all these the presenters, they go into a room and they give you a case. Like Ken Anderson, that swayed some voters. Like, they give the case of why the player deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And you're right. With Belichick, you don't say anything. You say Belichick and you go. Because when you look at it and you think, okay, Tom Flores in the Hall of Fame, Bud Grant's in the Hall of Fame, all these coaches that are in there.
Marty Schottenheimer's not in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think so, anyways, because I think
Dick Vermeil's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I mean, Tony Dungy's in the Hall of Fame.
Had one Super Bowl year. He had two. He went to the Super Bowl twice. But he had one Super Bowl year. He was not very highly thought of as a coach before that Super Bowl victory.
29 coaches are in.
Yeah, as I'm saying, like, he was not. But Vermeil was not very highly thought of until that '99 season, and he's in.
Is he the most qualified of the 29 coaches to be in? Yes.
100%. He's more qualified than any other coach there. And the only person I think you could make a case for, really, is like a couple, are Don Shula, just because of his longevity that he had, and
Lombardi.
And, he's more accomplished than Lombardi is. And Paul Brown is
But,
the
I mean,
other
he's
one.
got the Super Bowl name.
Right,
Lombardi
yeah,
trophy.
but, like, he only won two. But, like, the other one would be Paul Brown, because Paul Brown's contributions to the game are still felt to this day with, like, practice squads and playbooks and microphones in the quarterback helmets. Like, Paul Brown was the most innovative coach in NFL history. There's so many different guys you could put in there. But, like, my thing is, like, somebody brought up, like, Bill Walsh didn't get in first ballot either. That's stupid. Bill Walsh deserved to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because his offense is the most innovative offense in NFL history. Again, the process is stupid when you aren't putting guys who deserve to be in on the first ballot not on the first ballot.
Because Andy Reid's going to come up here because you have to wait 1 year once you retire.
Yeah.
And he's number 2 all time in postseason wins, only behind Belichick. He's 4th all time in wins in the NFL. He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. Well, he's got another one as assistant with the Green Bay back when he was a tight ends coach there. But is he a first ballot? Yes. There's certain guys that are just first ballot Hall of Famers.
It's just, to me, you're paying proper respect to what they contributed to the game. And I don't think that they're doing that by not putting him in the first year.
Yeah, I agree. That should have been in, because if you're going in there just to go ahead and discount the tickets because the Hall of Fame is not worth it if he's not in it.
Yeah, I say you're invalidating what it means when you decide to skip him for whatever stupid reason you came up with to not vote.
I mean, when you're a GOAT, you're a GOAT.
Yeah, simple as that. Like I said, they're not going to do that with Tom Brady. And even though
you
he
walk
was,
in there and you say,
even though he
say Tom Brady.
he was part of the Deflategate scandal, you're not going to do that with Tom Brady, are you? Because if you're not going to do that, then I don't want to hear your arguments about why he shouldn't get in year one.
10 Super Bowls, 7 wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're not going to do that with Brady, I don't want to hear it about Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Bill deserves to be in there 100%.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that he wasn't.
I was like, am I reading this right?
Yeah.
Like I saw, because I got all the insiders, the reporters and whatnot on notifications on Twitter. And when I saw that, I was like, ain't no way, man. And then Mahomes tweeted about it. I was like, oh, bro, this is going to blow up. This is going to be a bit like usually this week is not great for like the mainstream football stuff. It's usually like for guys like us with the Senior Bowl. It blew up. It blew up this week because of that.
Look who's in there now for the Chiefs now.
Yeah.
Reed's in there. Mahomes is in there. Kelsey's in there.
Chris
Jones maybe.
Chris Jones will be in there.
I think he'll
be in there.
But first ballots are going to be.
I mean,
or
I'll
should
say
be Reed, Mahomes, and Kelsey.
I'll say this. I think there's a good chance that Creed and Trey get in, too. There's a very good chance that those two guys get in.
We had, 10 members of the organization in the first Super Bowl in?
Yeah.
So, there's just certain guys that are first ballots.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys.
Belichick's first ballot.
Yeah. To me, first ballot is not even an argument against it. There's no good argument against it.
Come up next, though, we'll look at the receivers. We normally talk about receivers going number 9 overall. Would you do it or not? We'll talk about that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel's making sure you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or you're building one last same-game parlay, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel Sportsbooks, the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
QC Kinetics helps active people stay active. People like David Boardman, police officer, competitive athlete, and gym owner who trains hard almost every day.
My body's taken a lot of abuse over the years. I've had multiple knee surgeries on both of my knees. I could barely run a mile prior to going to QC Kinetics. Doctors have all told me, hey, you are going to need knee replacements.
But QC Kinetics gave David great news.
We're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
And after David's regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics?
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week. I really wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for QC Kinetics.
From knee pain to Ironman training.
It's a no-brainer.
Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics to book your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or bird seed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Chris Uno. Chris, you would not. And I understand you look at these receivers and you think, okay, the best of the best is probably the fourth best in the 2027 draft.
Yeah, like Jordan Tyson, who's, I think, considered the consensus #1 receiver in this class, probably is like late first round.
Or Cornell Tate or Mekhi
years.
Lemon, that whole group there.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, I've seen Jordan Tyson as the consensus top receiver for most people.
I had him in one of my Chiefs mocks. It was the two receivers. Had him and
Yeah,
Cornell
so
Tate.
I've seen him, and he probably, like, you know, like some of the drafts, like what was it, the 23 draft that was like really good for receivers? Or I know the 24 draft was really nice, but I think 23 was really good
Had
too.
7 go.
He's probably picked late first round, Jordan Tyson. Like Cornell Tate's probably a second round pick in like a really good receiver class. Like in next year's class, Cornell Tate is a second round pick. So, yeah.
2004 and 2024, there were 7 receivers taken in the first round of the NFL draft. That 2004 draft class, in the first round, Fitzgerald, Roy Williams, Reggie Williams, Michael Clayton, Michael Jenkins, and Rashad Woods. So you can get some guys that don't exactly, or you can get a Puka in the fourth selection of the 5th round where the Rams took him, which I've always been an advocate for. You don't just take one receiver, you take 2. That's how you end up with the Puka, who is the 5th round selection of the Rams. You throw more darts than just one. And if one doesn't work out, you know what? You go on to the next. Juwan Jennings, that people like as a free agent, it's a 7th round pick. That's San Francisco throwing a dart as a 7th rounder and saying, you know what? Instead of just going first round or second round, we'll throw a dart. Or Torrey Horton that had 5 touchdowns for the Seahawks before he got hurt in the 4th round. But I would take not one, but 2.
There.
It wouldn't just be throwing one dart at Sky Moore and saying, I hope you work out. Or throwing one dart at Rasheed Rice saying,
if you throw another dart, you're just using it for luck.
Or
like,
this year, it's part of the deal, though.
Luck, though.
But you're really hoping for luck if you just pick one. Just like this year, they threw a dart at Jalen Royals and say, you're our dude.
It's
We're
more
gonna have a
skilled when you take one earlier.
Now,
in
the Chiefs made a selection. They said, 4th rounder, we're going Jalen Royals. We're going to have a receiver that's going to be suspended this year. They knew that was going to happen. They didn't know how many games, but knew it was going to happen. And we took one dart and threw it at Jalen Royals to be our wide receiver. And I tell people this, that want total edge rushers in the draft this year. Hey, it's very important. It's 1A, 1B with the Kansas City Chiefs. Not going to say it's not important getting an edge rusher. Of course it is for the Chiefs. But having a football caught by a receiver is important because the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, and they're not going to have a quarterback like that in their future. If they do, good for you, because that is a rarity, because the Chiefs have gone all these years without having somebody like that. They finally got somebody like Mahomes. What I'm saying is apply him with the weapons. Don't make him go out there and throw to a bunch of guys that keep dropping the footballs, can't beat man coverage, and can't run routes, because that's what's been happening. They want Mahomes to be the magic man and make all these receivers better. Give him the weapons that he needs. Cornell Tate, a guy that I liked, that we liked in our first mock, and we put him out there. Runs the best routes in the draft, has the best hands in the draft. But again, it's a guy that's probably going to be gone before pick 9. Which direction you go? Because if you think they only need edge rush, they only need guys to get to quarterback, well, they better get to the quarterback. Because week 4 or 5, you can't complain. If he goes week 4 and week 5, and the quarterback's out there throwing to a bunch of people, dropping the football, not running routes, being suspended or being hurt, you're going to say, man, Chiefs should have drafted a receiver in the first round. Well, hold that energy. If your energy is they don't need a receiver early on, I've seen mocks where they don't even have a receiver going to the Chiefs. I'm like, huh? You don't even have a receiver going to the Chiefs in this draft? Who is Mahomes going to throw to is the question, because, again, don't complain about lack of guys catching the football. The receivers for this year's team got a lot of crap for dropping the football, not running routes, not beating man coverage. That was a ton. And you're okay with that? You're okay with Rice and Worthy being your only dudes? You're okay with them being 1 and 2 for this football team? Just saying, hold the same energy that you want now because you can't go back on it. You can't go back, well, they should have taken a receiver early on. So that's my point.
The inverse can be said, though, about the pass rush. The pass rush is not good. It's not good at all. I think pass rush is way more important than receivers on a team. I think getting to the quarterback is right after having a great quarterback. Because my thing is this: receiver is a position that you can find good receivers outside of the first round all the time, like all the time.
But game changers.
Puka Nacua was a 5th-round pick.
I understand that, but think about this.
Isn't he a game changer, right? He's a game changer. I mean, Devontae Adams, his teammate, he's a game changer too, right?
What round
was he picked in, though?
Think about this.
Is he a first-round pick?
Think about this. JSN for the Seahawks, right? The Seahawks had 1 sack on Matt Stafford. They got to Stafford once. They had 1 sack. JSN had 10 catches for 153 yards.
He has the
and a
number
touchdown.
1 defense on his team.
But you know what? He does.
He has
But you know
the
what?
number 1 defense
But
on
you know what?
his
They
team.
got to the quarterback 1 time. As far as passers, they got 1 time. He had 10 catches for 153.
The number 1 defense on his team. You bring up that one stat line. The JSN had so many catches in this one
He
single
is an
game.
unguardable weapon for the Seahawks. The teams can't cover.
So is Puka Nacua,
That
who's
is
a
having a
better
weapon.
receiver than him, who's a 5th-round pick.
4th, 5th-round
He was a
selection.
5th-round pick, and he's a better receiver than JSN. What the hell are you talking about, Bink? Come on now, man. Like
You gotta have weapons,
You're
is
being
what I'm saying.
and you can find weapons outside of round 1. You're being intellectually dishonest with this argument.
No,
Bink.
you can
You
find
are
weapons.
100% beat. You act
But
like
you gotta be
you act
luckier
like
at
this
it.
is drafting. You got to be lucky to find one in round 1.
You got to be luckier at edge. Don't
How
forget
many-
when the Chiefs
how many
won Super Bowl
receivers have
57
we
and 58.
seen?
Keep this in mind. They didn't exactly do it with great edge rushers. They did it by
what
blitzing
year?
secondary.
What year?
They were getting
what year?
2024. They were getting it from inside linebacker blitzes. Leo Chanel. He's an off-ball linebacker.
You're 100% right.
I'm saying they were manufacturing
You're right.
a pass rush.
100%. They needed edge rush help that year too. They didn't have it. They had
And
to
they won a ring.
manufacture it. Not in 24. The year before they won it.
23 and 22. they won.
22 and 23 they did because they had a great pass rush, and they won.
I wouldn't say great, but they finished second because
that's not a great pass rush, Bink.
Well, it wasn't necessarily all coming from the edge, though. They were getting help from the inside linebackers, the safety blitzes, corner blitzes. They were manufacturing a pass rush.
But they didn't need to, though, those years. They needed to in 24.
I'm not saying they don't need edge rush, which they do. Out of the top 2 picks, this team's to make,
but listen,
it should be edge rusher and receiver.
You're talking about receiver like it's quarterback, and you're wrong. Because you bring up JSN, but you don't bring up the team that he played against that had 2 non-first-round receivers who were both 1,000-yard receivers this year. Come on, Bink. I understand you are emotional about the receiving core, and I agree that he needs help. But like you admitted at the beginning of this segment that the guys at the top of this draft would be second-round picks in a good receiver draft. What are we doing, Bink? You admitted that this is not a great receiving class as far as the top end goes, but you still want to use a top 10 pick on basically what is a second-round pick at receiver?
I'm
Come
just
on,
saying
Bink.
they need a certifiable weapon.
I agree
that can
with
get
that,
open,
but my
game
thing is
changer,
this.
get to the end zone, do things because you have an elite quarterback and you're wasting him unless you have
And here's
talent.
my problem. And the guy that you bring up all the time is probably the least of the guys who could do what you want them to do, which is Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate is terrible after the catch. He is awful after the catch. He's a catch it and fall down type of receiver. Now, if you said Jordan Tyson, okay, we make a case for that. We talked about this before the show. If you wanted to say Mekhi Lemon, my favorite receiver in this class.
But
I think
Carnell Tate is the best route runner in the draft.
He
and he's
is.
got the best hands in the draft.
he is, but he's gonna get open, he's gonna catch the ball, and then he's gonna fall down. Like, that's not an Andy Reid receiver. Andy Reid receivers are catch and run guys, not catch and fall guys. So Carnell Tate really doesn't seem like a fit if you go by the type of guys that Andy likes. Like, if you're making a case for Mekhi Lemon, okay, I can get with that. I mean, still wouldn't be my top pick.
Tate was over 17 yards of reception.
Yeah, because he caught it and fell. He's big. He's 6'3". Catch and fall. That's what he is. He's not a rat guy. He's catch and fall guy.
Like Hollywood Brown.
Yeah,
That's who
like
he was.
catch and fall. And we talked about that early in the season. Catch and fall. That's all he did.
Rasheed Rice is actually a catch and run guy. I like that.
Yeah, he absolutely is. You need a catch and run guy. Now, if you're making a case for Mekhi Lemon, my favorite receiver, I love him. And if you could get, let's say, T.J. Parker out of Clemson at 40, or you trade up a little bit and get him there, okay, make a case for that. But, like, the guy you're making a case for, I don't think is going to be the answer to the